Hello everybody, it's Mr. Eaker. We are going to go through your scale factor practice test, one question at a time. If you need to pause the video, that's fine, and let's go through it. So, number one, if figure A measures 15 centimeters by 8 centimeters and rectangle B is a scale copy of rectangle A, which choice could not be a measurement pair of rectangle B? So we're not looking for the ones that are possibilities, we're looking for the one that's not. So remember that we will take this value and this value, multiply by one number, which would be the scale, and then see if it works out. And one thing you could do is you could use division. So let's try this. 45 divided by 15 would be 3. So if 24 divided by 3 is 8, then we know that this is a correct answer. So that's not going to be the answer we pick because we're looking for the ones that could not be a measurement. 24 divided by 3 would be 8. So this is not our answer. 30 divided by 2 gives me 15. Or you could say 30 divided by 15 is 2. And then when you do 24 divided by 8, that's 3. So, again, let's go through this. If I start with A, 45 divided by 15, that gives me 3. If I took 24 divided by 8, that's also 3. So notice that these values are the same. So this is not my answer because I'm looking for the one that can't be. So again, 30 divided by 15 is equal to 2. We know that 24 divided by 8 is 3. So this and this are not similar. We're going for the ones that are similar. So B is your answer on that one because it can't be. Let's move to number 2. On a map, the distance between two cities is 4 centimeters. If the scale of the map is 1 centimeter equals 6 miles, what's the distance between the two cities in miles? So let's set up our proportion. 1 centimeter over 6 miles. 1 centimeter is 6 miles. And if I measure 4 centimeters, how many miles would that be? Well, remember, we take this times that, take our diagonals and measure them. Multiply them. 6 times 4 would be 24. And normally we would divide by the last value. In case it's 1, so 24 divided by 1 is still 24. So the answer here would be 24 miles. Number 3. On a map, half of a centimeter is equal to 100 miles. Let's write that down. 1/2 of a centimeter. So 100 miles. How many miles would 3 centimeters be? Well, 3.5 centimeters. 3 1/2 centimeters. So we're looking for the mileage for that. So again, we're just going to take 100 times 3 1/2. So you could change that to a decimal. 3.5 times 100. That's equal to 350. Now, I know that I have 350 here, but I haven't done anything with this 1/2 a centimeter. I still have to divide by 1/2 centimeter. If I take 350 and divide it by 1/2, this is actually what you're doing mathematically. And of course, you have your calculator, so you can do it that way. 350 times this reciprocal. This is how you solve for the division of a fraction. 350 times 2 is 700. So the answer would be 700 miles. Okay, number 4. The size of a scale drawing of a park is 6 centimeters, so I'm not going to draw this in here. 6 centimeters by 11 centimeters wide. So 6 centimeters long by 11 centimeters wide. If the actual park is 72 meters long, what is the width of the park? Okay, so there's several ways which you can figure this out. You say if this is the length and this is the length, then how do I go from 6 to 72? Let's see if setting up a proportion will work. 6 centimeters long over 11 centimeters wide equal to 72 meters long. And grab a calculator here. I just want to see if this will work. It may, it may not. We're going to find out. So I'm going to take in my calculator. 11 times 72, which is 792, divided by 6 is 132. Now, it's going to keep that in mind, that 132. I could also take 72 divided by 6, which equals 12, and then multiply it by 11, which is 132. So that is correct, 132 meters. So that would be your answer there. Again, using proportions works well. Okay, let's go on to the next problem. Use the following figures to answer questions 5 and 6. So this is for 5 and 6. In the drawing above, figure PRQ is the original figure and SUT is the copy. Which segment corresponds to segment ST? Alright, so a segment is 2 points, so here to here, S and T. So what is the similar figure or similar segment in the other figure? Well, it's right here, so the similar segment would be segment PQ. Let's move on to number 6. Again, using the figure above where PQR is the original figure and SUT is the copy, what is the scale factor from the original figure to the copy? Well, again, this is something where you can use division, or you could set up proportions, but let's just use a division. Remember, our formula for figuring out scale is take a side of the copy and divide it by a side of the original. So since this is a copy, we can take 9 divided by 6. We could take 15 divided by 10. Okay, so let's just do 9 divided by 6. That's equal to, you know what, the answer isn't on here. It's actually 1.5. So I think this was meant to be 1.5. There, so it's 1.5, or 1 1/2. I think I meant to make this the original figure. That's alright. So that's how we do that. Are the figures below scale copies of one another? Explain. Well, let's see here. Remember that scale copies, all we have to do is say divide one by the other. So we're going to think of this as the original, and this is the copy. So 30 divided by 15 equals 2. 20 and 10. 20 divided by 10 is also 2. So those are good. What about 12 divided by 4? 12 divided by 4 is 3. So these are the scale factors. That's a problem. All my scale factors have to be the same. So this is no, because not all the scale factors are the same. And let's move on. Are there any figures below, or any of the figures below, scale copies of the original? Explain how you know. Alright, well, let's look at this. Again, let's mark the sides here. This is 1, here's a 1. This is 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the side. Notice here that B grows this way, but it doesn't grow here. This is still 1 and this is still 1. So this grows, but this doesn't. That's not a scale factor. That's not a scale copy. Every side has to grow equally. In C, this is 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I think about it, okay, 1 times 2 is 2, 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2, 3 times 2 is 6, 5 times 2 is 10. So I know that C is a scale copy. So I'm going to put C here. Now, let's see if D is. Alright, so that increases by 2. So that would be 1 times 2 is 2. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one goes from 4 to 5. And 4 times 2 is not 5. So we know that that's not 1, that's not 1. C is because all of the sides are scaled by a factor of 2. That's your answer there. Going to number 9. I found this one online. Thought it was pretty funny. Below is a scale drawing of a subway system. If the scale of the drawing is 1 centimeter, represents 0.6 miles, how many miles is it from "Oh no, you overslept" and "Mr. Stop" to "College Kids"? So here's "Oh no, you overslept" and "Mr. Stop" right here. And then here's "College Kids" down here. So what we have to do is take a centimeter ruler, and I don't have a centimeter ruler on me, but I do have a tape measure. So that's the same thing. And remember that I can't just go from here to here. Okay? Can't just do that, because that doesn't follow the subway. The subway goes this way and this way. So I want to measure both parts. So I'm going to start at 0 for my centimeters here. Okay. And this right here is about 4.5. I'm going to make a mark there. So that's 4 1/2 centimeters. And then from here to here, we'll do it again. Right here. Okay, so that's 5. There's 5.5, 5.6, 5.7. So 5.7 centimeters. Now 4.5 is of course 4.5, so I have to take 4.5 centimeters and add it to 5.7 centimeters, and that would equal, see here, doing math here, that's 12, so 2, there's your decimal, carry the 1, 1 plus 4 is 5, 5 plus 5 is 10, so it is 10.2 centimeters. Okay, now if the scale of drawing is 1 centimeter equals 0.6 miles, so we have to use this and figure out how many miles it is. It says right here, how many miles? So we're going to set up our proportion. 1 centimeter over 0.6 miles. equal to 10.2 centimeters. We're going to figure out the miles. So we're going to take 0.6 times 10.2. That's equal to 6.12. And then normally you would divide, so divide by 1. Okay, so your answer, 6.12 miles. Alright, now, your last question actually has the chart on it, or it has the figures, and not 100%. I'm at home, so I don't remember that. So anytime you have an original figure, I'm just going to do something simple here. Okay, let's say this is, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. Okay, draw a scale copy of the figure using a factor of 1/2. All of these numbers needed to be multiplied by 1/2. So 5 times 1/2, 3 times 1/2, 2 times 1/2, 4 times 1/2, 1 times 1/2, and then you figure out your answers. And then you draw it on there. So half of this would be, let's hear, this would be 2.5, 1.5. Again, all I'm doing is multiplying these values by 1/2, and I'm getting these values. And I don't have a graph paper, so I'm just kind of doing freehand here. Just giving you an idea of how to do it. 4 times 1/2 is 2, same thing here. 1 times 1/2 is 0.5. And 2 times 1/2 would be 1. So this would be 2.5 boxes long, 1.5 boxes long, and so on. For the bottom one, use the same one here, except instead of multiplying by 1/2, we're going to multiply by the scale factor of 3. So just draw this a bit bigger so you get the idea. 5 times 3 is 15, so it would be 15 units long. 3 times 3 would be 9, so this would be 9 units long. 2 times 3 would be 6. 1 times 3 is 3, and then 4 times 3 would be 12. So give this a good study, and good luck on your test, and I'll talk to you soon.